You know, if you have a chronic illness or you know someone who has a chronic illness, this is a very difficult time in your life, and getting the support and the help that you need is crucial. We have someone here, Karen Butler, from the Cleveland Department of Health. You're the Commissioner of Health. Welcome to
Thank you for
the show.
having me.
So what I'd like to know, if you could help us a little bit, just define what a chronic illness means.
Well, quite simply put, a chronic illness is a disease or an illness that doesn't go away. It requires ongoing treatment, care, and if not treated, it could sometimes result in more costly health care or even hospitalizations. They range from moderate to sometimes debilitating, and some of the more commonly known chronic illnesses include diabetes, heart disease, asthma, hypertension.
There's a whole list of
There
chronic,
really are.
I mean, you get the whole autoimmune diseases.
Correct.
And yeah, I mean,
Yes.
people really have, once you have a disease like this, is that it for life? I mean,
well, there are things that we encourage everyone to do, such as following your doctor's treatment plan for you, keeping your medical appointments, and most of all, taking advantage of the various services that are available. Many people don't realize that there is help and there is hope. So we encourage everybody to contact those resources, reach out to them. For example, there is the United Way's First Call for Help. That's a resource that can really get you connected to the help that you need. There are a lot of other agencies too that are here.
okay. That's good to know, because
Yes.
somebody's in the middle of it, they feel alone, they feel like
do.
a lone ranger, like nobody else is going
Exactly.
through this. So if I had, say, diabetes, and I had
Sure.
nobody I knew that could, would I just call you, the
Sure.
Department of Health?
The Department of Health is more than happy to help you. That's a very important role that we serve, because we've established affiliations and collaborations with agencies throughout the city,
Okay,
and
great.
we'll be more than happy to
Great.
help make those connections.
Okay, now let's talk about prevention. Is there any
Yes.
way to prevent these diseases?
Sure. In fact, one of our very prominent messages that we try to convey to the community in every opportunity that we get is prevention.
Okay.
In every way that we can, we'd like to prevent those chronic illnesses from developing in the first place.
Right.
And we really strongly advocate increasing physical activity, improving the diet, and really adopting good nutrition. And it really does work.
Yes, I know. I've seen it happen in my family. And you know, sometimes even when you're diagnosed with a chronic illness,
Yes.
if you start to change your lifestyle, you can reverse that.
Absolutely. It really makes a difference. And it's never too late to start to adopt a healthier
That's
lifestyle.
right. What a good message. Thank you. And you're a caseworker and you're a social, what are you?
Actually, I'm the Commissioner of Health.
No, I know, but you're a case manager and a social worker, right? Aren't you?
No, not as
I'm wrong. Never mind. Sorry about that. Okay. Well, if anybody wants to get a hold of you, they can go to the website, clevelandhealth.org, and they can directly talk to you, right? Or
That is
someone else that can help.
We have a whole staff that's available to provide all of the help
great.
that's needed.
Thank you so much
Thank you for
being
having
here.
me.
Good work.
Thank you.
We'll be right back right after this.
Next, a loved one dies and you inherit overwhelming financial decisions. We'll help you make the right choices. Then, if you have a friend who just keeps talking and talking, going on and on, never stopping to hear what you have to say, never letting you get a word in edgewise, hardly taking a breath, you know what I mean? Sorry. Well, you'll want to listen when Coach Cat.
This is one of my favorite segments, and it's called the Romance Review, and this is where I review books and movies and restaurants. This week I'm reviewing a little something different. This is about going into the woods. This is a wonderful time of year to get out. I mean, Mother Nature is providing us with beautiful colors. Now, we all know about the metro parks. This is something a little bit different. This is a place that like nobody knows about. This is behind Orange High School. If you drive into Orange High School and you follow up through to the parking lot, there's a little driveway. If you walk back, you'll see, you almost miss it. You can see the pictures, they're gorgeous. It's a pathway about a mile long, and this time of year, it's all yellow. So it's like walking down the yellow brick road. And my husband and I know about this, so we do this every year. It's very romantic. So now I'm telling all of you, and everybody's going to show up, but that's okay. I want you to know about it. So that's my romance review for this week. Stay tuned, and we'll have Ken Butsey coming up.
For those who struggle with drug and alcohol addiction, finding the courage to change is the first step to lasting recovery. Discover life in recovery. Discover Glen Bay.
Glen Bay, nationally recognized drug and alcohol treatment for adults. Discover more at glenbay.com.
You know, it's a topic none of us want to think about. It's a topic of when our parents pass away or a spouse passes away, and when that happens, we might inherit money. So knowing how to inherit money is really key. And we have Ken Butsey here. Welcome to the show again with Integrity First Planners. So Ken, you're going to tell us about, I don't even think about this, but there's a way to inherit money.
Right. Many years ago, most people would inherit money through a will or a trust.
Okay.
And the process was sort of drawn out. Nowadays, most people are inheriting money through directly from accounts. For instance, a retirement account, a pension, or an annuity, which those kinds of accounts generally bypass the will and the trust. So it's as simple as somebody calling up the provider and saying, mail me the money.
Okay.
And more often than not, that can cause some problems.
I see. But now, how do people inherit money? I mean, what's the best way?
Well, what we generally suggest, especially with these kinds of accounts, is don't do anything originally. You need to organize everything. Collect the account statements, find out who the beneficiaries are before you try to cash an account out.
Oh, really? Because I would think the longer you wait, the more things could get messed up.
Well, that's not generally true. It's usually when you are hastened to do something that you can mess it up. I'll give an example. This is a story that appeared in the New York Post a few years ago in 2005. There was a mistake by the way the account was set up, and the husband was disinherited by $1 million. Okay?
What?
I'm in a study group. We meet twice a year. This is our book from our last meeting last month. Half of this book, you can see the thickness of it, is filled with court cases that were released within the last 6 months of people who made mistakes. For instance, Charlotte Gee, as you can see Charlotte here, she made a Charlotte made a $97,000 penalty mistake on top of the income taxes that were owed on top of that. And we're seeing this book is filled with them. Some of the mistakes are $3,000, some of them are $500,000, and we're seeing this more and more often.
And you know, when this happens, I don't know how you feel about this. I'm going to give this back to you. I don't like to think about people passing away to begin with, okay? And then I also don't like to take it the next step and think, ooh, you know, what am I going to get? You know, I mean, I don't even want to go there.
Right.
So then when this all happens, I'm checked out. I don't even think about it.
You know, and that's the other part of what we see often. It's usually not when your mind is in the best frame. And so trying to make big financial decisions when you're emotionally not all there, you've suffered something, and we just hate to see people make mistakes. So in fact, what we normally encourage is slow down, don't do anything, let's gather everything together and let's devise a plan, because what's happening is it's very easy. These companies make it so easy for you to get their money, because what they're trying to do is retain it. So they're trying to get it all retitled in your name or move it over, and invariably mistakes occur.
So you really need an advocate with this.
I think so, sure.
I mean, this reminds me of like being in a minefield, and if you make one false move, the whole thing blows up.
It's happening every day.
Oh.
It's going to happen more because these accounts are very prevalent. So we do have an action plan. We have a beneficiary action plan that we suggest that people follow, and quite simply, the first thing is don't add any money to the account that you inherit.
Leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
Okay.
Get the beneficiary forms and get the account form that shows how the account is titled. Okay. We also need you to determine how old the person was when they died, because if they were over a certain age, if they were born before July 1st, 1939, different rules apply. Oh. And so you need to know that as well.
Okay, I do have to say, because we're going to wrap it up, but this is more information than anybody could do by themselves. You need help with this. I mean, we don't want to think about people passing away, but when it does happen, you want to have somebody who's going to be an advocate for you. This man, I'm telling you, I don't know how you keep it all in your head, but if you want to get a hold of Ken, you can call him at 216-751-4229, or you can go on the website, integrityfirstplanners.com. Always a pleasure to have you. Thank you for the information.
You're welcome.
All right, up next, we'll be back very soon with a new guest.
Coming up, Kathy gives her advice on how to speak up to a friend who won't stop talking. And on next week's show, alternative medicine. Is it the right alternative for you and your health? Find your answer next week on Can You Relate with Kathy Dawson.
This is our Get a Life segment. This is where I suggest that you get up and get out of the house and make memories with friends, family, spouse. Now, because Halloween's right around the corner, I found this really cool thing to do. It's called the Mansfield Reformatory. It's really creepy, all right? They give you tours. There's a guard tour where you go up this spiral staircase and you can look over and see where all the prisoners have been buried. That's kind of creepy. Then they have an underground tunnel system, which is fun. And get ready for this, strap in, so to speak. They have a replica of an electric chair, okay? Also, they have a haunted prison experience. So if you want to get out this weekend and do something just for fun for Halloween, I highly recommend the Mansfield Reformatory. Also, this is kind of a fun fact, they filmed the Shawshank Redemption there. So there's a couple pictures of it. So I think this is a very interesting, informative, historical, and really scary thing to do. So get out there and have fun this weekend. Stay tuned because we've got Ask Coach Kathy next.
Craig and Mark Lindahl in Grange Insurance understand that 1 minute you're out there living life to the fullest. The next thing you know, you've got sweeping changes to make and your family's future to think about. Talk to Lindahl Insurance about how to save by putting all of your insurance with Grange, protecting your possessions and the ones you love. When things zig instead of zag, contact Lindahl Insurance or visit their website.